done real well with their pork product. As a chef and a culinarian and a meat scientist, I love this rib. I wouldn't be using it if I didn't love it. The meat, as you can see between the bones, the quantity, this is a true baby back. This isn't a loin back. And there's no loin meat on this. You can see they raise a shorter, fatter pig. They raise them up to about 350 pounds. And they slaughter them at about 4 months, 5 months. And it's an all-natural feed. There's no hormones. It's an all-natural product. It's not injected. Nothing done to it. Really, really quality pork. On top of that pork, we have 2 seasonings. A pre-dust and a finishing dust. And this is where a little bit of the science, I got nothing to hide today. I'm giving the keys to the city here, as we call it in the seasoning business. Pork finishing dust. And we have a pork pre-dust. The pork pre-dust, we'll talk through it here with you. I'm going to put some on your plate. There's the pork pre-dust. What this does, it's got corn syrup solids in it, which is used a lot in the meat industry. It's not as sweet as sugar. It's a sweetener, natural. Corn syrup, dehydrated. And that acts as kind of like a buffer, so you can get that sweet tackiness to your seasoning. And so the idea, instead of washing with mustard or vinegar or anything like that, we use corn syrup solids to formulate black pepper, salt, and then there's a white pork meat flavor in there a little bit just to help that pork along. On top, we have, that goes on first and it soaks into the meat and that gets all slimy and tacky, and then we put the finishing dust on, or your rub, so to speak. I call it a finishing dust because I created this 2-part system. And the hero to this is honey crystals. Instead of putting your honey on top of your ribs, which, fine, it's an inverted sugar, we put about 30% of the honey crystals, which are, it's a baking product. It's dry, powdered. Instead of sugar, it's honey powder that are in crystal form, so it's a little more granular. You can see the granular in there, and those granules melt onto that crust, and that's why you get that nice bark that you're enjoying right there on the outside. So you get that crust on the outside, but still juicy on the inside. You see all that water, that moisture. These are, I mean, these were cooked. We put these on. The first round went on at 8:30. The second round went on at 9:30. And then they were done an hour ago. And when they're done, they're done. And then we have to hold them and baby them so that, you know. And then barbecue's banquet food. So a lot of the guys, oh, it's got to be. But because we cook fast and hot, we can control the quality of it. Whereas if you cook low and slow, you run the risk of getting mushy, dried out. Because again, you're cooking slow, you're making jerky out of a thin piece of meat between the items. So, last but not least, we have a sauce. And the sauce that we formulated, it's our own signature blend. It's a red, sweet barbecue sauce, a little bit of tang. And one of the kickers to that one is ají panca, which is a chili pepper from Peru. It means red chili pepper. Kind of like cayenne, a milder cayenne. And it has a very short finish. It's very low level. I put about, and because of the formulas that we do here, they're going to increase anyway. See, everything's in percentages. We fine-tune, taste-wise, down to 0.01%. I can taste it when I make them side by side. So when people say, oh, just add another tablespoon, well, I can't cook like that anymore. It's got to be precise so that this sauce, or this seasoning, so I can reproduce it comp after comp. Enjoy it. I want you to enjoy it. You want me to cut you another rib? Yeah, grab that. Take that one. Enjoy meat towel too.
So when do you put the finishing sauce on?
That goes on about, for these, they go on about 45 minutes to an hour before we feel that they're just about at the end. And then we'll put it on heavy, and then we'll clear some of it off. it's all a preference, I think. Everyone's like, oh, give them wet, give them dry, you know, it's, I hope sometimes some people, oh, you gotta.
It's the end product.
It's the end product. How does it taste in your mouth when you leave? You say, you know what, that really was good, or, you know, I could eat more. I don't want you to just take one bite and like, oh, that's so much flavor. I don't know if I could eat a whole rack of those. That means you got too much flavor going on. You want to taste the pork, and I hope you enjoyed the pork.
Very meaty.
You should see the St. Louis we use for Kansas City, for KCBS. They're even meatier. But I was told that when in MBN, stick to the groove, and that was baby back.
Generally speaking, most people present baby back.
So we wanted to come with the best baby back.
It's okay.
And, okay, 3 minutes. So, and the wood that we got back there that we cook on is somewhat custom aged also. I have a tree guy that harvests trees, and he ages them. He's got cords and cords of wood of different flavor, and he tells me what he has at exact age and when he split it into 16 inches versus wheels, so I get the exact burn rate all the time. And so we really, you know, from the formulas to the meat, we really, really love what we do, and we hope that you really enjoy it.
How long have you been cooking?
Professionally, about 25 years. As a research chef for 10 years.
Where are you based out of?
In Chicago. Well, a suburb of Chicago. Plainfield, so to speak. My office is in Milwaukee. And I travel a lot, traveling in my business, so working with the sales team, going to visit clients, visit customers. We do a lot of different seasonings for different parts of the food world. Grocery item, you go to the deli store, everything's low sodium now. We're one of the leaders in reduced sodium technologies. And Global Barbecue is one of the things that we came up with for our other trade shows. And what we do is we took the flavors of barbecue from around the world and incorporated them into seasonings for snacks.
Clever.
So,
Thank you very much.
Clyde, any questions that I can answer before we take it off? I guess that's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hey, when you're done, if you want to come back, I'd love to talk with you.
Right, I'll be back.
Definitely. And have a Bloody Mary when you're all done.
Yeah, that's right.
You can have a Virgin Bloody Mary for the road. I've got you. I don't want to wreck your palate. I want
no, I am
just
done.
water.
I am done. Thank you. Thank you.